What up, YouTube Digital? The bankruptcy things were because of people asking, and I'm not going to say who, but there was definitely more than five, and they wanted to know because they're going through some shit. There was been even more that have been kind of hinting towards it, kind of probing me towards it, acting like I didn't realize they were probing me. I ain't that dumb. But it's cool. I'll keep their shit secret. I don't tell people. If you want to talk about it in secret and, pinky swear shit and all that other stuff, just PM me. I don't care. But the fact is people are going through this problem right now. People think, people in life think that things are easy. You could come up with solutions that are easy, like, oh, just cut your cable or save or all this other bullshit. And if it was that easy, we'd all be fucking robots. We'd only have to be programmed to say yes or no, or yay or nay, or fucking on or off, and just be done with life. It'd be a boring fucking place. We'd all just kill ourselves, and yeah. There are so many misconceptions with credit, and I'm going to get into more of them at the end of this, but I want to, first off, I apologize for the time this is going to take, but I need to clear up some shit. Because, yes, over the years, especially that dumb cunt that's on Oprah, these people talk shit, and they've never been in the fucking bankruptcy room. And what I refer to as the bankruptcy room is the room that I was in with my wife in 2001, where we sat there with everyone else in Northern California that was filing bankruptcy and had a case that day. It was on the fourth floor of the federal building in Sacramento, down by was it O or Second or whatever? It was right off of fucking I-5, in the middle of downtown by the Greyhound station. And it was a fourth or fifth floor. We sat in there and we listened to a bunch of bullshit all day. We were one of the last ones in. And out of all the people that were there that day, probably only 3 of them were overspenders. The rest of them were people that had shit happen to them. And that room had a shit ton of people. There were people waiting outside because there was not enough room. The big misconception is people are overspending and all this other bullshit. That's totally unfucking true. Most of those people don't even file bankruptcy anymore. I know that doesn't make sense, but bankruptcy is like owning up to your mistakes and going to jail financially. You go do your time, you deal with it, you get out, you start over. Okay? It's your misdemeanor ticket, or your misdemeanor 48 hours in jail. Alright? These people that habitually do it don't even bother filing bankruptcy anymore. They don't need to. And maybe one of these days I'll get into all the reasons why, but it's just a waste of money for them. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this right now. Most bankruptcy attorneys will not even touch you, will not even call you back if you have less than 20 grand. Most of them won't deal with you if you have less than 50. So don't think this is just something easy, something you could save out of. There's not too many people I know right now that have savings accounts even close to even stretch debt for a length of time. The fact is if you have a catastrophic failure somewhere in your system, you need to only worry about the main things: rent, mortgage, power, water, food. The rest of this shit, let it go. Most people don't. And I'll get into that later of all the fucking bullshit that comes along. I see people that have had $40,000 in debt turn into $100,000 in less than a year. And they did nothing. except try to pay it off. I'll get into that later. One of the big misconceptions of financing is that, paying cash, like paying cash for a car is better than financing. And that's a load of monkey crap. Because there's only one rule in financing that's the absolute truth in financing, in money, that you can't argue with. The number one golden thing that you need to know above anything else. Are you ready? Number one tip in financing. How to use one of those. You don't know how to use one of these? Don't even bother. That will tell you the truth. That will tell you if a deal is good or not. That will tell you how much more you're going to pay. So learn how to use it. But going off of the whole misconception of, hey, paying cash for a car is better than financing bullshit, you can't go by that. Because first off, you made your mistake by only saying, buying a car. Well, you got to look at the cost of ownership, not buying a car. Most of these beaters you only keep for about 2 years. Okay? The cost of ownership is all the money you've thrown at that piece of shit for 2 years before it had a catastrophic failure. Alright? Or wrecked. Since most of these people can't drive. You take that money and you add it up, and it's not necessarily a better deal at all. No, sometimes not even close. Case in point, piece of shit token, over mileaged piece of fucking monkey crap Toyota 4Runner. One of the biggest piece of shits ever made. Now the 4Runner before this one wasn't too bad. The convertible one with the 4-banger in it wasn't too bad. Well, this is one of those cars in junior high and high school that, when I saw this thing, I was like, damn, I gotta give me one of them. And you know what? Because I'm digital, I got me one of them. Alright? This is my token piece of shit 4Runner. Biggest piece of fucking monkey crap I ever owned in my fucking life. Really, I'm not. Okay, now here's some key things on here. It's $4,000. Okay, now here's the thing. They take this from Reno to San Jose and back. That's about a 400 or 500 mile round trip. So this thing has got tons of mileage on it. They don't put it on here, but I bet you it's probably in the 200 range. I'm guessing from the description it's automatic. And no mention of any maintenance. So here's the token of what you're going to get. Okay? Now let's go to the digital top 5 list of bullshit things that can happen to piece of shit token Japanese beaters of this money range. The like top 4 things or 5 things that can happen to these sub $5,000 pieces of monkey crap. First off, almost all of them are going to be high mileage. They're going to be 130 plus thousand miles. You may find a couple of them 120,000, but most of them are going to be high mileage. You're going to have problems with maintenance records because they'll be on like their second or third owner. So God knows when shit was actually done with the fucking thing. Okay, it's on its last legs, and people are trying to sell it for an overpriced thing, and nobody knows how to use Kelley Blue Book, and it's gonna happen. It's like every time I buy a car, it rains within that week, and I need to buy wipers. I just had to buy a set for the Jetta. It's funny how that works. But here's the deal with these cars. First off, I can already see these tires look like monkey crap, and I bet you the brakes are not far from being there too. It's probably on its fourth set of brakes, so my guess is brakes and tires need to be done soon. That's about a $600 job between both. Oh wait, these have what, 32s or whatever on here? I don't know, 32s, so you're looking at a little bit more. No, actually those tires are, they're okay. So you're looking at about $600 for those. Okay, that's one death. Now, any one of these can happen, or a multitude of these happening, and a multitude is more like it. The next thing, summer comes around, that thing is going to overheat because it hasn't been flushed out. The antifreeze looks like monkey crap. No one knows how to buy a used car anymore, and it's been beat and everything else. It's going to need parts. The radiator hoses are probably shit. The water pump's probably gone. So you're looking at about $500 to $600 to fix that. Alright, that's the second one. What's the third one? Automatic transmission. Why can't anybody drive a fucking stick anymore? You know, if a stick, you could usually get 80,000 out of a clutch, and that's about a $500 to $1,000 job. But no, everybody has to buy an automatic. Now that's a $1,700 to $3,500 job to fix. The fuck? Lazy fucks. What's the last thing? Oh, the timing belt. Whoever started the timing belt, if they're dead, they need to be dug up and killed again. Their kids need to be killed. I want that whole line, that whole genetic line taken out. Because these motherfuckers are the biggest pieces of shit that were ever born. For people to say, oh, the timing belt is so much better than the timing chain. We never had problems with blowing motors until these fucking belts came along. These fucking pieces of shit that just break all of a sudden. You know, yes, timing chains could break. You know, I've had one of them break on a Chevy 350. Guess what happened? The car shut off, and we had to replace it. And it started back up, and it drove on. All right? What happens in all these little foreign fucks is the timing belt breaks. There's absolutely no warning. And here's the piston going up and down. And the valves going, you know, they got to open and close. So they're going like this. You know, they go down when the piston's down, and they close. So it's more like this. All right, the belt breaks and the top end stops, but the bottom end keeps going, and it just fucks all that shit up. Grenades the motor. So you buy a car like this, and you go, oh, fuck. You should be going, hey, when was that timing belt last changed? Well, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. So you better go take it to that mechanic and have him look at it, and hopefully he can look at it and see what it looks like. And maybe you can run a part number on it and see when it was made. I don't know. But you should be replacing it. That's $500 to $750. If it breaks, $500 to $3,500. Just the brakes. Okay, if you bought this vehicle and let's just say a combination of the brakes or the overheating or the timing belt came in play, which would usually what happens. You fix those, and then within 2 years, a catastrophic failure happens. The motor or trans gives out. You wasted money. Now, if you would have taken the money you would have bought on this and put it down on a car, you would have been much better off. I know. But this is where a calculator come in. Matter of fact, I'll use an auto loan calculator from Bankrate. Why not? So I'll use the Jetta out there as an example. $7,000 car. You know, we'll change that to 3 years, 36 months. And interest rate, let's just piss people off and put 22%. Yeah. All right, now, where's it down? Oh, okay. So we're going to use a Jetta as the example. And we're going to jack up the interest rate through the roof, too, just to prove a point. All right, if you would have had to cash on that, you would have been able to put $4,000 down. So realistically, the loan amount on a $7,000 vehicle with $4,000 down would have been right about $4,000 after you figure in tax and everything else. Okay, we'll do a 36-month loan and everything else at 22% APR. Payments at $152 a month, but we'll get into that more. Okay. I want to figure out the interest to all this and everything else. Okay, cool. That's what I thought it would be. Because I'm going to show the total calculations here. Alright, take your trusty little fucking diddly-do here. Okay? If you would have bought that car for $4,000, and let's just say, realistically, I'm going to tell you right now, the likelihood of $1,000 at least worth of work would need to be done, and then that thing will grenade within 2 years. I'm probably thinking more in work, but anywho, let's just say 5,000. Let's be nice. 5,000 divided by 24 months. 208. Okay. You ready? The interest. Okay. Now, if you would have taken that money, because somehow you had this money, let's put it down on that $7,000 car. You're going to finance $4,000 over 3 years at a high APR. Let's just fuck it up a little bit. You're going to pay $1,400 in interest. So, okay, 7,000 plus 1,400. 8,400. The other car you'd only have for 2 years, maybe a little bit more. Realistically, 2 years. This car, since it only has 50,000 miles and not 100 or 200,000, so realistically, you should be able to put on here, if you keep it up and do the normal maintenance shit, you should at least get 100,000 out of this car. So you should at least get 5 years out of this car. If you don't fuck it up. Alright? More like 6, but I'll put 5. So 85 100 divided by, hold on here. Let's get this calculator going. I got a head cold right now. I cannot do calculations in my head right now, and it's pissing me off. But that's okay. Digital has many calculators at hand. So, I'm an idiot. That's what it was. $141 a month. Now, how I came to that figure? $7,000 car plus if you did it the way if you put the 4,000 down and you interest 3 years worth at 22%, you would have paid $1,400 in interest. All right. I don't recommend you doing it, but if you did, that's how it would be. $141 a month payments. But if you take that total, which would have been $8,500, interest plus that, you divide it by 60 months, which is 5 years, because that car should last 5 years as long as you take care of it. It's $141 a month compared to over $200 a month. So yes, you're paying interest, but you're getting a better deal. I know. This is why the company pays me good money. All right, you can't go on and just look at something with your blinders on and thinking that, yes, it makes sense to pay cash and not finance. But you're paying cash, you're not going to get the quality of vehicle. So you pay a little bit more and you get a much better vehicle that lasts you many more years. And it turns out a better investment. Plus, you can resell that vehicle. You sell that Honda or that Toyota, you ain't get shit. Alright. We're past that. Do your calculations. For automobiles, be realistic on repairs that will need to be happening. Watch those 4 things. They are very common in cars. And here's something else. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop this here. I'll stop this here. I'm going to do another video, and let me think about it, how I'm going to address it, because it's going to be the reality of pre-bankruptcy. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay? Because people need to learn the true way of how these companies treat you. And a lot of people are going to be surprised. So, I'm going to call this one the reality of the calculator. Or the calculator is mightier than a penis. I don't know, something like that.